Good afternoon, everybody. This is Keith Whitman from a windy ARP, Texas, here for tonight's game between the Bulldogs of Jefferson and the ARP Tigers. It's 67 degrees, and like I said, windy, as you can probably hear. I will try to make sure that that doesn't be too much of a bother. But we're about to get things started here. And ARP, this is district play for District 3A. And as of right now, it looks as though, excuse me, I'm sorry. It looks like in District 16 3A, ARP is 1-1 in district, and Jefferson is 1-2 so far. Both teams coming off of losses this last week on the 14th. ARP played West Rusk, and with a 1-0 loss, that was a heartbreaker there on the 14th. And Jefferson played West Rusk as well on the 17th with an 11-2 loss. So that's where we stand right now. We're about to get things started here in ARP. We want to thank you for joining us here on NETsn. Go ahead and like and subscribe as we get things started. And that way you don't miss a minute of the action for Northeast Texas sports.
Net Sports Network, your streaming home for Northeast Texas sports.
Leading off for Jefferson, second baseman number 9, Jefferson.
All right, we're here, and we're about to get this game started. Oh, and the first pitch of the game is a hit by pitch, and that's Jefferson Nard, number 9. He gets hit by pitch on the very first pitch of the game from Zane Bork. So Luke McMullen will head up to the plate next for the Tigers. For the Bulldogs. I apologize. And here's the pitch. It's going to be in there for a strike. Hey, while you're watching, go ahead and chat with us. We'd love to see where you're watching from and any kind of information you can give us. We'd like to know where our viewers are watching from live. It's a throw over to first. And Nard is back safe. Bork, left-hander on the mound, takes a look in. He gets set, checks the runner, and here's the pitch. It's going to be high into the outside. That'll make the count 1-1 to McMullen. Here comes the pitch. In there for a strike. Great pitch by Bork. I apologize for the wind noise. We're trying to do the best we can on this, but it is pretty windy out here today. Here's the pitch. It's going to be outside to throw down to first, but Nard is back in time. Barocio tried to catch him sleeping, but Nard gets back. Here's the pitch. In there, strike 3, and that's the first out for the Bulldogs. So they'll bring up designated hitter Judson Carter to the plate for the Bulldogs. Bork looks in, checks the runner at first, and throws over. Nard gets back in time, keeping him close as he is the leadoff. We have one out, one runner on. Here's the pitch. It's going to be a fly ball out of play. So that'll put it in a strike. Oh and 1 the count. Outside for a ball. Bork sets in. It's going to be 1 and 1 to the designated hitter Carter. Checks the runner at first and brings the ball home. A bit low. It's going to be another ball, 2 and 1. Zane Bork brings the pitch, swing and a miss for the second strike. That'll even the count at 2. As Carter's trying to move Jakairik Nard around the bases, but he's still in first since the hit by pitch at the very first of the game. Here's the pitch, and it's going to be fouled off, so he's still alive. And I have a feeling this wind may play a factor today in any long balls out in the outfield. Bork sets up, gets the sign. Here's the pitch. Good hit out into right field. And that's going to be Ty Anderson underneath for out number 2. And the Bulldogs have 2 down here in the top of the first. Jakairik Nard still on first as the cleanup batter, Knox Tomlinson, heads to the plate. He's a lefty, so lefty on lefty here early in the ball game. Throw over, check on Nard. And he is safe back at first. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a little inside for a ball. So Zane looks in, checks the runner at first, and throws it home. Good, hits the outfield. It's straight out to center field, and that's going to be out number 3 as Wyatt Ladd runs in for the catch. So that's the end of the top. The Bulldogs get a runner on first by hit by pitch in the very first pitch of the game, but nothing comes of it. So we're on to the bottom of the first. You're watching NETsn. Go ahead and like and subscribe. And don't miss a minute of the action. We're glad you're with us. We'll be right back. And we're back. It's the bottom of the first. No luck for the Bulldogs in the top. They did get a runner, but it was by hit by pitch. And then we had a strikeout with McMullen. Carter hit out into the right field, and Knox Tomlinson hit into center field for the 3 outs in the top of the first. So we're going to get started here in the bottom of the first. Isaiah Smith on the mound for the Bulldogs. And leading things off for the Tigers is Jackson Cavazos. And he'll step in and see if he can get things started for the Tigers here in the bottom of the first. Don't forget to go ahead and chat with us real quick. Let us know where you're watching from if you're watching live. We'd love to hear from you. Go ahead and like and subscribe, too, as you're watching. And we thank you for joining us. Here's the pitch. And in there for a strike, as Smith's pitch is a little bit better with a strike. Here's the pitch, Cavazos. It's going to be down low, so 1-1. Now the count. Smith with the pitch. Off the catcher's glove. Dawson Harper. So Smith gets set, and here comes the pitch. That's going to be in there for a strike to Cavazos, and that'll be a 2-1 count. He's behind. So he's going to have to do something now. Excuse me, it's a 2-2 even count. And here's the pitch. Good hit. Straight up the middle. It's going to get into the outfield and a base hit for the Tigers, as Cavazos is the first runner on base. So Wyatt Ladd, center fielder, is going to head to the plate. See if he can bring Cavazos around. Ladd steps in. Smith takes a look at the runner on first. Make sure Cavazos stays where he is. Throws over. Not in time, as he's in there safe. Smith with the pitch. Ladd looked like he was going to square around for a bunt, but pulled back. And squares around again, but no go. It's going to be 2-0. And that wind is really kicking up hard here. Little drizzle has started here in ARP. Here's the pitch. Squares around, pop fly on a bunt, and it's going to go foul. Tomlinson, excuse me, tries to get over there in time, does not make it. So 2-1 the count to Cavazos. Excuse me, to Ladd. And the rain is starting to pick up a little bit more. Squares up for a bunt again, and it's a passed ball. And Cavazos will take his place at second. Here's the pitch, and ball 4. So Ladd will take the base, and Will Sanford will step up.
Batting third, the designated hitter, number 13, Will Sanford.
So Sanford sets up, no outs, runner in scoring position is second. Here's the pitch, it's going to be high, off the glove of Harper. Here's the pitch. It's going to be a high fly ball. Out over by third. And Aiden Smith going to be underneath it for out number 1. The rain is picking up a little bit harder here. Trying to get things covered up for us here so we can keep broadcasting for you, as we don't want to mess anything up here. Here's a pitch by Smith, and it's going to be low for a ball. Squares around for a bunt. No throw over the head as Cavazos tries to steal. Harper throws over the head of Aiden Smith over there at third. Cavazos stays at third. Tried to look like he was going to go home, but Alex Aviles was the left fielder. He was backing up as he should have been. So here's the pitch. Good hit. It's going to be shorted to center field, high fly ball, and the shortstop, Braden Clark, steps back a few steps into the outfield grass for out number 2. Caden Clyburn next up for the Tigers, as he will try to bring that run home with 2 outs and 1 on over at third. Here's the pitch, and foul tip for strike 1. Here's the pitch from Smith outside for a ball. As Clyburn steps out to take a look down third base line. Gets what he needs. Looks down. Smith gets the sign and brings it home. It's going to be high for a ball. So 2-1 is going to be the count. As Clyburn steps back in, ahead in the count. Runner on third, 2 outs for the Tigers. Here's the pitch. Going to be fly ball back. So that'll even the count at 2. And a good hit out into center field. That's going to bring the run home. And a base hit scores 1 for the Tigers. And 2 comes in. So 2 runs come in on a base hit by Caden Clyburn out into center field.
Batting 6, the pitcher, number 4,
Zane Bork, the pitcher, steps in. And the pitch is going to be high. And a good hit out into center field. It's going to be a fly ball. Drops short of the center fielder, Luke McMullen. And 2 are on. Little 2-out rally going. As Zane Bork gets a base hit, runs Clyburn over to second. That's going to bring Hunter Nash to the plate, number 12. And he's going to see what he can do with 2 on and 2 out for the Tigers. Smith steps on the rubber, gets set.
now batting number 7, left fielder Hunter Nash.
Here's the pitch by Smith. It's going to be inside to Nash for a ball. Here's the pitch. In there for a strike as Nash wanted to swing, but didn't do it. 2 runs already in here for the Tigers in the bottom of the first. Nash looks in. Isaiah Smith checks the runner at second. Here's the pitch. Going to be high inside for a ball. Tried to put a little something on that, but it stayed up a little bit too much. Here's the pitch. It's going to be bounced in front of the plate, so 3-1 the count. Runners at first and second take the lead, and he steps off to get the runner back. making sure Colton Cross doesn't go anywhere. Here's the pitch, and Nash will take a stroll down to first for the walk, and that'll load the bases here in ARP. We got a little timeout as the coach for the Bulldogs heads out to have a little conversation with his pitcher. We'll take a short break while they're having a conversation. You're watching NETsn.
The catcher, number 8, Julian Borosio.
So after the conversation, Smith gets set with the pitch and the loaded bases. Julian Borosio, the catcher, will step into the plate. He takes the first pitch as a ball. Smith looks in, checks the runner at second, and brings it home. It's going to be a high fly ball over the first base line. Second baseman will head out into right field territory, and that's going to be out number 3. So nothing comes of the bases loaded as Jakirik Nard gets the last out of the first inning. We want to thank you for watching. Go ahead and like and subscribe so you don't miss a minute of the action for Northeast Texas sports. Got a lot of baseball ahead of us. We'll be right back here on NETsn. We are back here in ARP for the baseball game here between ARP Tigers and the Jefferson Bulldogs. We're in the top of the second. The Tigers had a 2-run inning in the bottom of the first, but left the bases loaded. So Braden Clark now heads to the plate, as he will see if he can get things started here in the top of the second. Here's the pitch from Bork, and it's going to be outside for a ball. And I'll tell you that the rain has stopped here. I hope it stays that way, but we don't know. Here's the pitch. It's going to be a hit out into left field. Good, solid hit. But Hunter Nash takes the ball for out number 1. Gets a good read off it on the back as Nash gets the first out of the inning. Oh, he dropped it? I apologize. I was just told he dropped it. I didn't see that. I had people in front of me. I apologize on that. So Nash gets the error on that one. And another good hit. That's going to be out into center field. Wyatt Ladd on the out. And that one he did catch. So that is the first out. So Braden Clark on second. Alex Aviles
Batting 7.
will head up to the plate.
Left fielder number 6, Alex Aviles.
Aviles waiting as Bork looks in, checks the runner at second. Nothing going, brings it home. That's going to be in there. Fastball for a strike. Good pitch. Another swing and a miss. That's going to be strike 2. 0-2 the count. 1 out for the Bulldogs. 1 on second base. And here comes the pitch. High and outside for a ball. Bork steps off. Didn't like what he saw. Resets so everybody gets back in as Avila steps into the batter's box. Zane sets, checks the runner, and brings the pitch home. It's going to be a swing and a miss for a strike, and that's the second strikeout for Bork today. And the second out of the top of the second.
Batting 8.
So that'll bring up Isaiah Smith, the pitcher. He'll step into the batter's box. Try to bring that runner home. Here's the pitch. In there for a strike. As Bork working that fastball all over the plate. Sets up again. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. And strike 2. So Smith looks out, waiting on the pitch, and here it comes. That's going to be high and outside. Tried to get him to chase, but Smith said nope. So it'll be 1-2. Bork looks in for the sign, finds the one he wants, and brings it home. And that's going to be in there for a strike. Barocio had to clean up a little mess there as the dropped ball, but he gets it over, and that's going to be a strikeout. And out number 3. So the error at the first batter and the runner on second comes to nothing for the Bulldogs. So while they're making a transition, we're going to head to a commercial break. Thank you for watching NETsn. Go ahead and like and subscribe and chat us up. Tell us where you're watching from. We'd love to hear from you. We'll be right back here in Arp, Texas. You're watching NETsn. Smith checks the runner and throws over, but Hall gets back in time. Hall leads off by a couple of steps. Smith takes a look and brings the pitch home. And it's a bunt down the third base line. A good bunt. Throw to first is no good. Not in time on that throw. A great play by Aiden Smith and a great bunt by Cavazos as he runs that one out. A little trickler down the third base line to bring Wyatt Ladd to the plate. With 2 on, first and second, no outs. Here's the pitch. And Ladd breaks down for a bunt but doesn't pull back in time. Would have been a strike either way. So runners on first and second for Ladd. He steps in with a ball, no balls and a strike. So here's the pitch. It's going to be a bunt up the middle, but the pitcher's there. Isaiah Smith throws over to first, And it's a missed ball. Actually, he caught that one. Great job by Knox Tomlinson. Actually, I apologize. That's Jakirik Nard. The second baseman runs over to cover first base.
Now batting, designated hitter number 13, Will Sanford.
And as Will Sanford waits, the Tigers coach, the coach from Jefferson is talking. Jakirik did catch the ball, but he came off the bag. So that'll load the bases, but there is an appeal on. And the umpires are having a little conversation. And the play stands. It is safe as Nard with a fantastic catch, but just had to come off the bag to get it. So with Will Sanford, the designated hitter, stepping in, he has bases loaded and nobody out here in the bottom of the second. Smith looks around. Here's the pitch. And it's going to be hit down first base line. And a throw. Tomlinson overthrows the catcher as Dawson Harper tries to dive up to get it. He goes for the force at home, but doesn't quite make it. So another run for the Tigers, and the bases are still loaded with no outs. And in the batter's box is the cleanup hitter, Caden Clyburn. He'll take the first pitch. That'll be inside for a ball. So the bottom of the second not starting off too well for the Jefferson Bulldogs, as Isaiah Smith's going to try to pitch this out. Here's the pitch. It's going to be foul tip for a strike by Clyburn. Smith takes a look in and brings the pitch. A little high and outside, says the umpire, so that's going to be a ball, 2-1. Smith has some good movement on his pitches, just can't get it to come down. Been trying to bring that slider in. Here's the pitch. It's going to be high, right above the numbers for another ball, so that'll be 3-1. As Clyburn is ahead of the count. So with a batter's count, and he watches that one go by, and he'll take the walk down to first, and the run will come in, and another run across home plate for the Tigers.
95th, second baseman.
Colton Cross now.
Number 5, Colton Cross.
Heading to the plate for the Tigers. Still no outs here in the bottom of the second. 4-0 is the score. And a hit down over to right field. And that's going to drop fair. And he gets caught halfway in between first and second. It's going to be a throwdown, and there's a lot of confusion on the base running. And everybody stays safe. I apologize that we have an out at third. Didn't get there in time. There's some confusion on where everybody needed to go. So Zane Bork will get up. There is one out, but another run came in. And a throw to second catches the runner on the steal. And a passed ball as Aiden Smith couldn't catch it. And that puts Colton Cross on third. So a lot of action here in the bases in the bottom of the second, as Bork will step in and try to bring that runner home from third. Here's the pitch by Smith. It's going to be a foul ball out of play. Smith takes a look in and just brings it home to Bork. And that's going to be bounced in front of the plate. Harper tried to hold on to that one, but it bounced off his glove. So 1-1 the count. Here comes the pitch. It's going to be out. Oh, just off the outside corner, in there for a strike, says the umpire. So 1-2. So Bork behind in the count with 1 out and 1 on here in the bottom of the second. Here's the pitch. And he reaches out for that one and hits it to Nard at second. Nard checks the runner, but it's going to go in, and a a run comes through. But Bork is out at first for the second out of the inning. And that'll bring Hunter Nash to the plate. Here's the pitch. It's going to be outside for a ball. So nobody on and 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. 5 runs have come in already in this inning. Outside for a ball. Nash looks in and takes a step out as Smith was taking a little extra time to find what pitch he wanted. They have it now. And here comes the pitch. And it's a hit straight up the middle. And it's fumbled by Braden Clark, the shortstop. So Hunter Nash will take his place at first base on that error. And Julian Barosio will head to the plate. So Smith back to the stretch to check the runner at first. Steps over, throws, not in time. Nash leads off. Here's the pitch. And a fly ball. It's going to be a high fly ball into left center field. And McMullen comes up for the catch and the out. So that stops the bleeding. 5 runs in. It'll be 7-0 here in the end of the second. And we'll head on to the third here in ARP. We want to thank you for watching. Go ahead and like and subscribe. And don't miss a minute of the action. Also, go ahead and chat with us. We'd love to hear where you're watching from and that you're watching. We appreciate you tuning in. You're watching NETsn. We'll be right back.
Have you sustained a bone, joint, work, or sports injury? Problems with mobility or movement? Suffer with pain? Contact Azalea Orthopedics. Our specialists serve patients across East Texas for proven, trusted medical care. You have a choice. Demand Azalea.
Welcome back to ARP.
Leading off the top of the third for the Jefferson Bulldogs, right fielder number 5, David Harper.
David Harper stepping into the plate, starting things off for the Bulldogs. As Baroque brings the first pitch. Bounces off the glove of Barosio. but it's a strike nonetheless. And here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. I think it was a little foul tip there over the glove of Barocio. And that's 0-2.
You got him right here, Zane.
Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Fumbles the ball there, so he's going to have to throw down to first to clean up a little bit. And there's the strikeout. And with that, we'll be back to the top of the lineup for the Bulldogs as Jakiric Nard steps up.
Now batting number 9, Jakiric Nard. Jakiric Nard.
Nard looks in. And here comes the pitch from Bork. And it's going to be low for a ball. Bork gets his sign. And the windup. In there. Fastball for a strike. And that'll be 1-1 the count. In there for a strike. Again. Good pitch by Bork, so 1-2.
Sit him down right here, Ford.
And Nard behind in the count. Finally gets the pitch he wants and brings it home.
Yes, sir!
In there. Strike 3 as Nard gets caught looking. So that's going to be 2 outs. That'll bring Luke McMullen
Now batting center fielder number 2.
as the center fielder.
Number 7, Luke McMullen.
He'll head up. Here's the pitch by Bork, excuse me.
Sir.
Swing and a miss. And another swing and a miss. So McMullen's down 0-2 in the count.
Sit him
Trying to
down
get
right
things
here,
done.
Ford.
Here's the pitch. Outside for a ball. Bork looks in. He's ready, and here comes the pitch. Fly ball, it's going to be out of play, back for a foul.
You got him where you want him, Ford. Let's go. Sit him down.
So McMullen waiting high for a ball, so 2-2. Trying to get him to chase, but unsuccessful, and Bork takes a look in for the pitch.
Yes,
Swing and a miss
sir.
for a strike, and he tags him to finish things up.
There you go, Ford.
So that'll end the top of the third. 3 up, 3 down, go the Bulldogs.
Driving a white
And we will go ahead and go to a commercial break. We're glad that you're watching here on NETsn. Go ahead and like and subscribe. We'll be right back here in Art. And we're back. So Parker Hall is going to lead things off here for the Tigers as he steps into the plate. Isaiah Smith will hopefully try not to have a repeat, and it's going to be a high for a ball of last inning. Hall steps in. Smith in the windup and the pitch. It's going to be a fly ball into center field. McMullen underneath, and that's out number one. So one down for the Tigers, and that'll bring us back to the top of the lineup as Jackson Cavazos will head to the plate. With nobody on and one out, Cavazos trying to get things started here in the bottom of the third. Here's the pitch, going to be fouled back behind, out of play. And Dawson Harper heading out to have a conversation with his pitcher. Got that finished up. So Cavazos steps in and awaits the pitch from Smith. Here's the windup and the delivery. It's going to be another foul ball back out of play. And that'll put him behind the count 0-2. A little underneath both those pitches as they were a little high around the numbers. So Cavazos is going to see if he can straighten that out. Smith gets what he likes, winds up, and the pitch. And it's going to be inside for a ball as Harper tries to frame it up, but unsuccessful on getting the strike. 1-2 the count to Cavazos. Nobody on and one out for the Tigers here in the bottom of the third. 7-0 is your score as Smith brings the pitch. Hit down the first base line, but Tomlinson is there with a great stop for out number 2.
Now batting center fielder, number
And that'll bring Wyatt Ladd, number 7, to the plate. The center fielder waits for the pitch and flies it back out of play behind home plate. For strike number 1, 0-1, the count, 2 outs, nobody on for the Tigers here in the bottom of the third. They lead by 7. Smith finds what he likes and brings the pitch. It's going to be bounced in for a ball. Held on a little bit too long on that. And evens the count at 1. So Ladd steps in, waits the pitch. And here it comes. And it's going to be high. Harper almost got it, but it bounced off his glove. And that'll put the count at 2-1 for Ladd. Here's the pitch. Another high ball. Pitch by Smith. Inside, ball 4. And Ladd will go ahead and take his base.
now batting designated hitter number 13, Will Sanford.
Will Sanford to the plate now with 2 out and 1 on.
roll. There's a difference. Yes, it's still a pitch. It'd be a ball.
So some issues at home plate. It was a hit by pitch. Here's runner goes. And Ladd makes it to second on the steal. On that last pitch, it was a hit by pitch on Sanford, but the umpire said he leaned into it a little bit, so he does not get to take the base. So 0-1 the count. Fly ball. It's going to be out for a foul behind home plate.
Let's go 1-3.
So 0-2 the count as Sanford trying to get something going. Here's the pitch.
Good eye.
High for a ball. Here's a pitch by Smith. And a fly ball out of play behind home plate for a foul ball again. So Smith will get set as Will Sanford, the designated hitter, stays alive with 2 out and 1 on. Smith checks the runner at second, brings it home. It's going to be high for a ball. That'll even the count at 2. So with that strike, but the drop ball, and that'll put Sanford on first. As Caden Clyburn heads to the plate with runners at the corners and 2 outs. Here's the pitch. And a good hit up the middle. But the shortstop is going to be there as Braden Clark touches the bag at second and ends the 3rd inning. So no runs come across. 2 runners left on base for the Tigers. Nothing to show for it. And we'll head to the top of the 4th. Your score 7-0 as ARP leads. We're here in ARP. You're watching NETsn.
Leading off the top of the 4th for Jefferson.
And we're back.
Number 3.
It's the top of the 4th. Judson Carter, the designated hitter for the Bulldogs, heads to the plate. Oh, and a hit by pitch. Bork brings it in a little bit tight and hits Carter in the shoulder. So they're going to come out and take a look at him, but he seems to be doing all right, heading over to first.
First baseman, number 11.
So Knox Tomlinson now steps up with a runner on, nobody out. Bork sets. Here's the pitch. In there for a strike. Good movement on that one. Here's the pitch, and it's going to be a swing and a miss for a strike. It's going to be 0-2. Tomlinson behind in the count. Over to first, gets the runner caught, and he catches him. As Bork throws to first, catches the runner running. Clyburn throws over to Cavazos, and they get the first out. So a good job by Bork to get that over there. And now he focuses on the plate with a ball. One and two the count as Bork brings it in. It's a good hit down in between first and second for a base hit. And the Bulldogs have a runner on board. Braden Clark, number 2, steps into the box.
Shortstop, Braden Clark.
And Bork steps off. Finds what he's looking for. Checks the runner and brings the pitch home. Swing and a miss. As Clark swings at that outside ball and gets his first strike. Waits on the pitch. And another swing and a miss. So that's strike number 2. So Bork sets, looks over, and throws the pitch. It's going to be high and outside for a ball. 1-2. Bork sets. That's going to be strikeout for out number 2. Another District 16 3A action as Troop and Wascom are playing tonight. It's bottom of the 7th, and Troop is up 4-0 on that game. Aiden Smith takes the first pitch down low for a ball. Still the runner at first, but 2 outs this time. Here's the pitch from Bork, And he gets in there for a strike, so he evens count at 1. Bork looks in, brings the pitch, and it's going to be popped over to Colton Cross as it's an easy pop fly out for out number 3. So still no runs for the Bulldogs as we head to the bottom of the 4th. Your score here in ARP 7, Jefferson 0. You're watching NETsn. Go ahead and like and subscribe so you don't miss a second of the action. Thank you for watching. And chat with us also. We'd like to know where you're watching from. You're listening and watching NETsn.
Have you sustained a bone, joint, work, or sports injury? Problems with mobility or movement? Suffer with pain? Contact Azalea Orthopedics. Our specialists serve patients across East Texas. For proven, trusted medical care, you have a choice. Demand Azalea.
spite of the fact that some people still think that they know, but no, he knows the code. It's not about the salary, it's all about reality and making some noise, making a story, making sure his click stays up. That means when he puts it down.
We're back here in ARP. It was 67 at game time. It's 67 degrees right now. The wind has died down a little bit and the rain is gone. So it's ended up being a beautiful night here. Colton Cross, who made that last out in the top of the fourth, is first up to bat for the Tigers as he steps into the batter's box, waiting on Isaiah Smith to bring this first pitch, and here it comes. It's going to be high for a ball. Smith did well last inning, getting no runs across for the Tigers. Bounces that one in, though, for a ball. So it's going to be 2-0 as Cross is ahead in the count. Smith steps up on the rubber, takes a look in to Harper. Finds the pitch he likes. Into the windup, and here's the pitch. And it's going to be out of play, foul ball. So it was a good cut, but just underneath it a little bit. As Cross steps back in. Here's the pitch. Going to be a good hit into the left field. Left fielder goes back, and it bounces off the glove of Aviles. Cross takes a good turn, but doesn't go to second. He stays at first, so that's going to end up being an error. It's going to be an E7, and that'll put a runner on first, and Zane Bork up into the batter's box. Smith checking over, making sure that Cross stays where he is. Cross takes off as the ball gets past the catcher. Kind of blindly strolls into second, almost gets caught. But that's a ball to Bork, as Harper just couldn't hold on to it. So Smith, takes a look at second, checks Cross, steps off the rubber, and steps back up. He's ready to go. Looks down at Harper for the call, and here's the pitch. As Bork squares up for a bunt and follows it all the way in and misses for a strike. 1-1. Trying to bring that runner down to third. He is in scoring position, but it's 1-1 the count. So Smith looks in, checks the runner at second, and steps off to put Cross back on the bag. So Bork ready for the pitch, and here it comes. A good hit. It's going to be high, pop fly, right behind second base, and the shortstop, Braden Clark, is underneath it. Takes about 3 steps to the left for that out. And gets out number 1. That'll put Hunter Nash, number 12, into the batter's box for the Tigers. See if he can bring that run home.
Let's go, Hunter!
Nash steps in, and Smith checks the runner and steps off. Didn't like what he had. And he gets set again. Here's the pitch, and the runner goes as Nash bunts it down the third base line. Smith goes to first. And the throw was not in time. And Nash all the way to third. So a bunt brings a run home and gets Hunter Nash to third base
Now batting, the catcher,
and brings Julian Borosio
Borosio.
to the plate. So 1 on, 1 out for the Tigers. 1 run in already this inning. And Borosio looks to bring Nash across the plate. Here's the pitch. It's going to be down third base line, but it goes foul just on the left side of the bag. Borosio steps back in. Infield in for the bunt. And he tries to put the bunt down. And it's a pass ball, and Hunter Nash comes in and scores. He was already on the run, and the ball got past Dawson Harper. And so Nash just strolls on in and gets another run for the Tigers. So 0-1 the count. Nobody on now, as Borosio awaits his pitch. Smith with the windup.
Good eye.
It's going to be high for a ball. Still behind in the count as it's 1-2. And Borosio awaits the pitch. And it's going to be bounced in for a ball, even at 2. So Smith looks in and gets the windup with the pitch. It's going to be inside for a ball. Tried to put a little something on it, and it just wouldn't fall off that table. So it's a full count. Here's the pitch. It's going to be fouled out of play behind into the concession stand, actually. I guess it was Hungry. So Smith gets set. Here's the pitch. And a good hit down to the left field line. Aviles gets it, but not before a base hit. As Borosio, with a full count, gets a base hit. And another base runner
Now batting, third base,
for the Tigers. Excuse me.
Parker Hall.
Bryant Lane is going to be standing on first and as a courtesy runner for Borosio, as he is the catcher. Umpire takes a call for a time. And Parker Hall now steps up. Cavazos on deck. He throws over to first. Not in time. So Smith is set. Brings the pitch, and it's going to be a swing and a miss by Hall for a strike. Here's the pitch. High and inside for a ball. In there for a strike. So 1-2 the count to Hall. Cavazos on deck for the Tigers. And Barocio still on first. Smith checks him out and brings it home. Nice little curve on that one, but curves it right out of the strike zone. And it'll even it up at 2. Smith over to first and not in time. So Smith making sure that Barocio doesn't go anywhere. And the no more runs gets scored here in the bottom of the 4th. 2 runs are already in. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. And that's going to be out number 2 as Parker Hall strikes out. And Cavazos, is going to head up. Correction. Looks like we have a pinch hitter.
Batting for Cavazos, number 15, A.B. Martin.
So number 15, A.B. Martin, is stepping in for Cavazos as a pinch hitter. So the left-hander stands in. And here's the pitch. Going to be bounced in front of the plate for a ball. 0-1 the count. Wyatt Ladd on deck. And the designated hitter, Will Sanford, in the hole for the Tigers. If it gets that far, there are 2 outs, 1 on. Smith brings the pitch right back to him by Martin. Smith grabs it over to Tomlinson, and that's the out. That ends the inning. So we're done with 4 here in ARP. Your score, ARP 9, Jefferson 0. We'll be right back here in ARP. You're watching NETsn. Go ahead and like and subscribe. We'll be right back. And we're back here at ARP. So Bork still on the mound for the Tigers.
Leading off the top of the 5th.
Leading things off is going to be Alex Aviles, the left fielder for the Bulldogs, as he steps in. And Bork with the pitch, fouled back for strike number 1. If you're watching us live, go ahead and chat with us. Let us know where you're watching from. We'd love to hear from you. Here's the pitch. It's going to be a swing and a miss for a strike. Bork in the windup. Just a bit outside. For a ball, it's going to be 1-2. And he swings at that one for the out number 1 for a strikeout. So Aviles sits down and Isaiah Smith steps up.
Now batting, the pitcher, number 8, Isaiah Smith.
Looks in, awaits the pitch, and steps out of the batter's box for time. There's the pitch. It's going to be outside for a ball. Bork brings it, and that one's in there. Strike 1, 1-1 the count. Brings it in pretty fast. And Bork looks on, gets what he likes. Here's the pitch, swing on and a miss for strike number 2. Isaiah Smith chased that one a little bit down into the dirt. Trying to get things started here in the top of the 5th. Smith awaits the pitch. Here it comes. That's going to be outside. Good eye by Smith. And that 0-1 the count. Wynn picking up again. And a good hit, and that one's going to go between first and second, but Colton Cross was there to make the stop and get the runner out at first as Harper goes to take a seat. But Isaiah Smith does advance to second base, so a runner is in scoring position as we're back at the top of the lineup as Jakyrick Nard will step in. Bork checks the runner. It's going to be a little high and outside for a ball. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss by Nard. A little bit behind on that for a strike. 1-1. It was a good cut. Just couldn't get around on it in time. And he'll try again. Here's the pitch. In there for a strike. So Nard behind. 1-2. He'll be looking to bring that runner home from second. That one's going to be low for a ball, so even at 2 is the count.
Bring him up right here, 4. Sit him down.
And here's the pitch. A good hit, but it's going to be foul ball out of play. So Nard stays alive. Bork's pitch is going to be on the outside for a strike as Nard swings on that for out number 3. So that'll end the top of the 5th. We'll head to the bottom. You're watching NETsn. Go ahead and like and subscribe so you don't miss a minute of the action. You're watching baseball here in East Texas on NETsn. We'll be right back to ARP shortly. 9-0, the Tigers lead.
Sustained a bone, joint, work, or sports injury? Problems with mobility or movement? Suffer with pain? Contact Azalea Orthopedics. Our specialists serve patients across East Texas. For proven, trusted medical care, you have a choice. Demand Azalea.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're here in ARP as the Tigers lead 9-0 in the bottom of the 5th. Wyatt Ladd will step up and lead things off here for the Tigers. You can hear that wind blowing as it has been pretty much steady this entire game. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be bounced off. And Ladd gets up and walks it off as he swings on that, and it bounces up and hits him, looks like in the shin. Umpire giving him time to walk it off. And he's back up and ready to go. So he steps into the batter's box. No balls and 1 strike, and here comes the pitch. That's going to be in there for a strike. So Ladd finds himself in the hole, 0-2. And a good hit over between the third and shortstop. And it's going to be a base hit. Braden Clark tries to get to it in time, but unable to make a throw. And that'll bring Will Sanford, the designated hitter, to the plate. as at this time the winning run is on first base. So 1 on, no out, and Smith steps off the rubber. Didn't like what he saw. He steps back in, takes a look down at Harper. Checks over at first. And the pitch is going to be high and outside for a ball. Smith gets set, throws over to first, and it's going to be high over the head of the first baseman, but no run as Ladd stays there. So no harm goes on that wild throw from Smith. As Ladd is still on first base. Here comes the pitch. It's going to be bounced behind Sanford. He jumps out of the way. But a good stop by Dawson Harper. And Smith gets set, checks over to first, and brings the pitch home. High and outside for a ball 3. So 3-0 the count. Sanford steps in. It's a batter's count, so we'll see what he does. As Smith checks Ladd over at first. Takes a lead off and runs, but it's going to be no matter. Ladd makes a great slide for no reason, but it does get into second base as the walk is there, and Sanford heads to first. Caden Clyburn now steps up, and we have a time on the field as we might be having a pitching change for Jefferson. Let's wait and see what we got going. We're going to take a short break real quick. We'll be right back. You're watching NETsn.
Net Sports Network, your streaming home for Northeast Texas sports.
So it looks like we are going to have a pitching change. So while they do that, we're going to take a little break, and we'll be right back.
Now pitching for Jefferson.
So there is a pitching change, and it looks like number 9, Jakaric Nard, is going to come in for the Bulldogs, take his place on the mound, and see what he can do. So Caden Clyburn is ready to step up to the plate as the pitching Change is completed. And Nard steps in. Runners on first and second, and nobody out. Winning run on second. Here's the pitch. It's going to be bounced in, and that's going to advance the runners as Harper couldn't get that one. So the winning run now on third. As Clyburn looks in. And again, it's bounced. And it's behind Dawson. And the run comes in. And that's the ball game. So your final score here in ARP is the Tigers 10, Jefferson Bulldogs 0. That'll be all for us here at NETsn. We want to thank you for watching us. Go ahead and like and subscribe, and you won't miss a minute of action. Also, if you want to come back and watch this game, it will be up on our YouTube page on NETsn Live. So go to youtube.com NETsn Live, and you can watch all of the things that we do here for NETsn, all the sports action that we have. And that's this game as well will be up for you to watch. Thanks again for joining us. We're going to be leaving here. You have a good night. We'll see you all next time. This is Keith with NETsn.